Hello, creative professionals. Thank you for joining me on this segment that I like to call the professional palette. This segment is dedicated to all the different kinds of fundamental blocks of any kind of design in general. It can be graphic design, it can be product design, it can be architecture. There are a few things that bind all of these design principles together, and that is what we are going to talk about here. We are going to handle things like portfolio making, presentation styles, color theory, typography, and so on and so forth. And for the first episode, I wanted to keep it very light, very simple, just to sort of ease ourselves into this segment. We are going to talk about typography. So, what is typography? Typography is the style and appearance of printed matter. Okay, that makes sense. But then, what is typeface? A typeface is a particular design of type, aka font. When talking about fonts, you must have come across these terminologies such as serif and sans serif fonts. So what exactly are these things? Serif is basically the protrusion that you see at the end of certain typefaces, the thing that makes it look a little more flamboyant and a little more classical. So that's called serif. Now sans serif, sans is without in Latin, means without serif, which means when you don't have those pointy thingies at the end of these fonts, that's when you call it sans serif. Some examples of serif fonts are whereas some examples of some sans serif fonts are these. Now, there is no hard and fast rule that you cannot use sans serif fonts or you cannot use serif fonts in certain places. It's completely up to the designer or the person who's creating the document or the design file or anything. It's up to you, because even with serif fonts, sometimes you can beautifully blend it into your presentation styles or your presentation slides, and you can make something beautiful out of it without making it look a little amateurish. It all depends on how you're using your fonts in combination of which other fonts. Now, talking about combination of fonts, my advice to you all is that when you're preparing slides, try to not go beyond 2 fonts or 2 different kinds of typefaces. At most, like if you really need to use a different kind of font for your footer or something like that, then go with a maximum of 3 different variations, but not beyond that. The second you go beyond the 3 different kinds of typefaces within the same design file or your slides, it kind of gives off the impression that the person creating those design files or the slides doesn't really know much about fonts, and you don't want yourself to come off as a font novice when you are the designer. So rule of thumb is that do not use more than 3 fonts. In fact, try to even avoid using the third one unless it's absolutely necessary. So usually for the really big texts like the headers and everything, use one kind of font, which is sort of like the eye-grabbing kind of text. So you use one style for that, and for the body text or footer, footnote, caption, etc., use another one. Okay? Cool? You with me? Alright, now that we've sort of talked about serif, sans serif, combination of fonts, we are going to talk about the anatomy of any font or any typeface. So any font under the sun has a host of different things. Just like the human body, even fonts have so many things as a part of the entire anatomy of any text. But we're not going to get into all of that. We're only going to talk about the things that are commonly used, such as leading, kerning, tracking, and X height. So let's start with the first one. Number 1, leading. So what exactly is leading? Leading is basically how your text is aligned in the vertical direction. Alright? So you must have come across this terminology called line height. So this is where that line height comes into play. You increase your leading, the line height increases. In some cases, by default, I think all the Adobe products have a line height of 1.2 times the font height. And I guess it's the same for all the Google Slides and Google Sheets and all of these applications as well. But it depends, like especially when it comes to graphic design, because there you don't necessarily have to stick to a framework. Whereas I, being a UI designer, I always have to stick to a framework. I cannot just willy-nilly go and use whatever leading, kerning, tracking, whatever I feel like it. Now coming to the next one, kerning. So kerning is something that we measure on the horizontal level. So the inter-letter spacing that you see, that is your kerning. So the higher the kerning, the more spaced apart your letters are even within the same word. The next one is tracking. Tracking is often confused with kerning because it also deals with the horizontal distribution of letters, but the concept is slightly different. Tracking involves the adjustment of spacing throughout the entire word, whereas kerning is just in between the different letters. Now we come to the last one, which is X height. So the X height is the height of the typeface from its baseline to its mean line. So what is a baseline and a mean line? So in this diagram, you will see that the baseline is this one down here at the bottom. This is where most of the letters start and then go up. The mean line is the mean, the average height of pretty much all the letters, where up to the height that all the letters are supposed to come up to. So the X height is not fixed for every single font. It can vary from one font family to another. I'll give you one very good example. Let's take the example of Calibri and Century Gothic. So you take both these fonts, you can probably create a PowerPoint document, or you can even open a Word doc. You can enter the same sentence twice and then apply these two different fonts to the two different lines, and then you will notice that the Century Gothic line seems significantly bigger as compared to the Calibri line, even though they are the same font height. That's because of the X height. So sometimes even when you're using smaller font heights, but you want the text to be more legible, much clearer, then we usually pick a font that has a higher X height, so that even with like 12 point or 11 point, when you're putting it in the footer and you want it to stand out, you want it still to be readable and legible, then go with a font that has a higher X height. So with this, I'm going to end this session, and we are going to see each other again in the next episode, where I pick another topic about design fundamentals and I expand on that. I hope you stay healthy, you stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!